let's go ahead and jump on over. Oh no, there we go. All right. Like I said, I hope everybody out there is doing great. Let's go ahead and get started. And, before we jump too far into this, I have to move all of my settings for MegaMek and everything like that over because, as you can see, we're risking it today. And we are playing in the most recent nightly, which is nightly 1218. So, one of the things I think I'm going to try to highlight with this series as well is just as we're playing along, highlighting kind of what the changes are to MekHQ as it goes along. Because what I'm seeing a lot of in the Discord channel and everywhere else that I can see is that a lot of times as changes happen, players don't have anywhere to look at all to see where some of these changes are happening, except for, sometimes very lengthy change logs. But before we do too much else, we are going to update these. It's just funny that I've updated these to the new nightly so often that it used to take me a few minutes to do these things, and now it's practically automatic. That should be fine. And I think, yep, I turned on all the play test stuff, so we should be good. I think, yeah, we'll be good there. Okay, sounds great. Here we go. Ta-da! So one other thing that I do want to highlight today is that they added one or two new things. So if you haven't already, you can hop on over to the Discord channel and go into the announcements section, and you'll see that Sleet updated put an update up. So if you were watching the last stream, then you noticed like the person who I had helping me out, or the liaison allied unit, was carrying I don't remember, acid ammo, fragmentation ammo, and follow the leader ammo. That's right. Which was less than useful. And so if you jump on over to the Discord channel and look at announcements, Sleet made some updates so that now units are going to be bot units or bot created units are going to be carrying ammo that's appropriate for the era as well as for that faction, which I think is going to it's going to help out a lot. And you're not going to hopefully just, have death by tandem charge. The other thing is if we go into campaign options. So again, this is on the most recent nightly 12-18. If you go over to the operations tab and you jump into digital DM, you'll notice there is a new option for scenario map size. I recommend you actually read what this says. So, adjust the size of scenario maps. Normal uses total war recommendations. 1 map sheet per 4 units rounded down. Large map sizes allows for more tactical maneuvering at the expense of favoring long-range weapons or units, while small map sizes increase scenario speed while favoring melee. So, definitely take a look. And then there was also a little bit of clarification on the Discord channel, which, essentially the most normal scenarios are going to be like a 2x2 board or maybe a 2x3 board. And for big scenarios, it's going to get broader. So it's going to get wider, but it's not going to get taller. So you're not going to end up with a 4x4 or 5x5 map with tons of maneuvering room in that way, but you're going to have more of a front. So it increases the front of the battle without increasing the depth of the battle necessarily. And that's the new big stuff, I think. I'm sure there's something else, but we'll catch that later. We'll just stick on normal, and we'll go from there. So the last time that we were here, we just got done fighting a couple of scenarios, and if I remember correctly, yeah, we got We have a couple of units that are damaged. Couple of units that are a little on the damage side, unfortunately. And so we are just going to have to figure out what we're repairing here, because we have another scenario that's up and ready to go. So, whoops. The current scenario that we have up and ready to go is the crisis. So this is a minor engagement once again. The enemy has positioned forces in this area, but they are not yet fully committed to battle. Your objective is to inflict enough damage to force them to withdraw, destroy at least 25% of their forces to break their resolve, and make it clear that holding this position is not worth the cost. This is a show of strength. Hit them hard, make them bleed, and leave no doubt that further resistance is futile. They may attempt a counteroffensive, but once their losses mount, they will have no choice but to retreat. The victor will control the field of battle at the end of the engagement, securing the area and denying enemy any future foothold here. Send a message. This ground belongs to us. All right, cool. And I have not forgotten about those handy-dandy tutorials that I've been trying to put together. Work has been slightly insane, and so that is why it's taking a little bit longer. But anyways, so they have a Warhammer with the commander. They also have a Warhammer and a Grasshopper with OK pilots. And then they have a bunch of vehicles. So 4 vehicles, including 2 Hetzers. One with actually a pretty OK crew. Okay, so with all that being said, let's take a look at these guys. So my Marauder is undamaged, Trebuchet is undamaged. My Awesome is carrying a little bit of damage, but nothing crazy. Most of the damage actually is in Tango Lance, so I think we repair up the Awesome. The Orion is going to need a lot of love. Lots and lots of love. Especially with that missing AC-10, unfortunately. I'm thinking that we just move the Marauder up to Alpha Lance, kind of like that. And we repair our Awesome. I don't think we need quite that much extra time. So we'll repair a couple of things, do some stuff. Reload our streak. What else do we have in here? So I need to... Guillotine doesn't have any ammo. No, it has the SRM-6. And the Guillotine... Let's just also double check. What kind of ammo are you carrying? You're firing dead fire, which is fine. The Vindicator, which I think LRM-5 ammo we just fine on that. And then the Marauder with its AC-5. I don't think we have any other real AC-5 ammo, because I don't care about Tracer and I don't want flak on this. So we're just going to load it the way it is. So the Vindicator. One day they'll fix it. There we go. And reload our LRM. Marauder, replace some ammo or some armor. Place some more armor. And reload. Oh, good. 8 minutes exactly. Then what else? And then the Guillotine. Got some armor to replace. And some ammo to reload. And that should pretty well put us in a good spot for this. So we've got Alpha Lance. Unfortunately, a couple of our folks have 1 fatigue, but there's nothing to do about that. I think we're in about as good of a spot as we can be, all things considered. All right, so the crisis is the one for today. Yes, yes, great. So we go to minor engagement, which is today, deploy. We're going to deploy Alpha Lance, which should be fine. And they don't have any air forces this time for them to, you know, demolish us. That was not desirable last time at all. And we don't need any of those reinforcements. Then we just have to wait for things to load like always. Unless I hit the wrong button, which happens. Commence drop. Oh, I definitely hit the wrong button. Recovery, confirm. We have all of our wonderful little mech techs, so we'll confirm that one as well. We hit OK. And we drop on in. No fear. No fears. So if you guys have just started playing in the 50.10 update, what are some things that you like a lot so far? Or what are some things maybe you would change in a perfect world? Or maybe you are a player who's coming back to MegaMek after a long hiatus. Let me know what you're thinking. How has this changed? Because I've seen, I did the jump from 46, and then I went to 48, and then from 48 I did jump to like 50.0, and then the next thing I was in was like 50.06. And I've been playing consistently since 0.05 or 0.06. Again. All right, so we got all of our folks here. Now, one other change that was made is once you start playing in the most recent nightly, you'll probably notice, man, my units always start in the south. Or they always start in the south or the center, and the enemy always starts in the north. That's on purpose. Don't panic. It's on purpose. And I like that change as well. I like it. Don't take it away. All right, switch location. Got to do all the things like normal. There we go. There we go. Cool. So because the Vindicator can jump, I think we do a little bit of this action. The Awesome very much cannot jump. So it can go here. Well, what level are you? Level 0. Honestly, I might just start everybody over here. I think that might be the way to go. We'll just start everybody over here. I would love that grasshopper. I care less about the Warhammers. I want the grasshopper. We lost initiative, which is less than ideal. Whoops. Always forget about these things. Isometric. possible moves, and within field of view. There we go. Let's go ahead and bring this awesome up to play. I had to destroy, what, 25%? I already forgot. Yeah, 25% of the mech commander in the Op 4. So the reinforcements don't matter. Which is so funny that the foot platoon got there first. The foot platoon got there before any of the vehicles did. Which is hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. Hey, what's up, man? How are you doing? You just jumping in, or have you been there for a while? Ooh, nice. I have not played MechWarrior 5 since before the Clans update came out. For better or for worse. Move that down just a little bit. All right, so 9s to hit for the ERPPCs on the Warhammer. Which one are you? You are the commander. Okay, well, we have presents for you, commander. Oh, gotcha. Well, I was just showing off a couple of the new features that are being introduced with this nightly, because I decided to go ahead and just start playing in the nightlies. Because if there's one thing I can do for the player base in MekHQ, it's I can start showing off some of the things that are in the nightlies that they can hopefully expect to see with those future development releases. Because why not? That's what we're here for. And so if you didn't see it over on the Discord channel, you know, wherever it is for you, Sleet just did some work. So if you remember on the last stream, we had our liaison unit that we had, and it was carrying like some acid SRM, which was nice. And then I had like fragmentation and follow the leader LRMs, which just made no sense at all. So he went through and he made essentially a generator for ammo for allies and things like that. So it's based on the year as well as what faction they are to determine how likely it is for them to have a certain kind of ammo, and making it more likely for standard ammo or whatever kind of ammo they actually would carry. And that just got pushed out like an hour and a half ago. Yes, I can only imagine that it was a lot of work. So the Awesome hits the Warhammer on the center torso with the ERPPC. The Warhammer smacks the Marauder twice with a PPC, one into the right torso, one into the left arm, unfortunately. The Vindicator hits the Warhammer with 3 of its 5 LRMs, doing 3 damage to the left arm, and everybody else missed. Yes, it is a very, very tables game. It shocks me sometimes how complicated this game is, but how much fun it is. You have to be a special kind of human to truly enjoy every aspect of this game. That should be fine. Let's see here. Where can we go? We can go there. It's going to hurt us a little bit. I think it'll hurt him more. think it's time to get a little warm with the awesome. It works better when it's hot anyways. Hopefully we can just get one of these Warhammers out pretty fast, and then we just don't have to worry about it. I'll do that. Ooh, nope, that's not going to work. All right, let's see what happens. So the awesome hits with 2 of the 3 ERPPCs into the Warhammer, 1 into the right arm, 1 into the right torso. The grasshopper misses the guillotine. The guillotine misses the Warhammer. The Warhammer misses the awesome. The Vindicator hits the Warhammer with 4 of its 5 LRM missiles, doing 4 damage to the center torso. The Warhammer misses the guillotine. And the Marauder missed the Warhammer. Warhammer took 20 damage, and so it had to roll. Rolls a 6 on a 6. So it stays standing for now, which is always neat. All right. Warhammer, enemy Warhammers at 8. Other Warhammers at 4, and then our awesomes at 5. So not a bad start, but we lost initiative. Keep that awesome where it is. And I think we're almost to where we just need to start jumping a little. Maybe get the guillotine into a better position. Okay. All right. Move the Marauder up and see if it can actually do something this turn. I think we'll just go ahead and do that and hope for the best. Oh no, the awesome can't see anything. That's not good. But we can see the Warhammer, that Warhammer with our guillotine. Then our Vindicator can also see that happy little Warhammer. So we can give him some presents. And then lastly, the Marauder has some wonderful shots on that Warhammer. We'll just get a little warm, not too bad. So the guillotine on the Warhammer missed. The Warhammer firing on the Marauder hits in the right leg with a single PPC. The Vindicator missed. The Grasshopper at the Vindicator hits the center torso with a PPC. Oh, that's the PPC variety of the Grasshopper. Okay. And then the Marauder lands a PPC, a medium laser, and AC-5 into the Warhammer. PPC into the right torso, medium laser into the right arm, and then the AC-5 into the right torso with a through armor crit. The Warhammer missed the Marauder. Oh dear. The Warhammer, needed a 7, rolls a 4, falls down, does 5 damage to the right leg, and then 2 damage to the center torso, doing a through armor crit on the gyro. The pilot avoids taking damage, though. I'm kind of okay with this, friends. And we end up winning initiative. Where are you? You're in the water. Okay. Right? Yeah, you're in the water. There we go. That'll be fine. I don't foresee that Warhammer standing up anytime soon. And I was correct. Let's see. Yeah, I think that'd be fine. That will be just fine. So the Warhammer tries to get up, falls down, does 5 damage to the right arm, 2 damage to the center, rear center, torso. Pilot takes 1 hit, tries to stand, falls down again, takes 5 damage to the left torso, 2 damage to the right arm. The pilot takes another hit. What do you think they're losing? A leg? An arm? An eye? So the Marauder, unfortunately, we're shooting through some heavy wood, so not the most ideal situation. But we can donate 2 PPCs to the cause, and then a pulse laser, and maybe a streak, and maybe another streak, and that will be just fine. Well, I think we send some lasers towards the other Warhammer. And there we go. So Grasshopper firing a PPC at the guillotine misses. Our Awesome hits the Warhammer in the center torso with a PPC, and then hits in the right arm with a PPC. Right arm's down to internal structure. The medium pulse laser into the right torso, critting on a medium laser and SRM. Then one of the 2 streaks hits, doing 2 damage to the right arm, and another 2 damage to the right arm. It's down to 5 internal structure. The Warhammer, the one that's standing, pumps a PPC into the center torso of the Awesome, and then a medium laser into the left torso. Our guillotine firing at the Warhammer hits with the large laser into the left arm and missed with everything else. The prone Warhammer missed with its PPC. Our Vindicator also missed. The Marauder firing into the Warhammer destroys the right arm with a PPC and missed with the AC5. All right, cool. And we very much won initiative. I think they sunk their battleship. Did they just try to get up? Did they get up, take 1 step, fall into the water, and then fall down and break their mech? Is that what happened? Oh, the dum-dums. Well, either which way, I think we hop the guillotine on over. The Vindicator, I think, probably needs to hop on over here, maybe? Do you jump there? No, I don't think so. I think you probably jump here. Okay, so what happened? So he stood up, and then he tried to enter the water for some reason, fell 2 levels, and then breached his left torso, and then breached his center torso, and then was destroyed by hull breach. So he flooded his own fusion engine. Good job, Slick. Good job. Well done. All right, let's let the Grasshopper know we're thinking of them. Oh, no, don't do that. All right, let's see what happens. So the Awesome hits with 2 of the 3 ERPPCs into the Grasshopper. 1 goes into the right arm. The other one goes into the left torso. The Grasshopper firing at the Marauder hits with a PPC into the left torso. It's down to 7 armor. Missed with everything else. Guillotine into the Warhammer. Missed with everything. Warhammer into the Guillotine. Missed. The Vindicator missed the Grasshopper. Our Marauder hits with one of the PPCs in the left arm, but missed the other and the AC-5. Grasshopper took 20 damage, but stays standing. Our Marauder and our Awesome are both getting a little warm, but that's okay. They'll figure it out, and we lose initiative this round. And their reinforcements have arrived, which is fine. I think that we still have plenty of time to figure this out. I'm not too terribly concerned. I'm a little more concerned now, because I don't want to get AC 20'd into the face. But I only have to destroy one of these guys, and I'm kind of being selfish, and I want that Grasshopper, so I'm trying to take him down, even though the Warhammer would be the easier target. I want it. 14 over, I can't stomach that one. Nope, 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 nope. 14 over is a bit extreme for me. All right, what's the to hit against him? Needs a 9. I don't see this going well. Oops. Helps if you do a little torso twisting, huh? There we go. We can be 2 over on heat this time. All right, the Awesome hits with a single ERPPC into the left leg of the Grasshopper. The Hetzer missed the Guillotine. It rolled an 8. Guillotine firing a large laser into the Hetzer immobilizes him. Missed with everything else, though. It's fine. He hit with the money shot. I don't care. The Grasshopper firing at the Awesome hits with a PPC into the left leg, but that was behind cover, so nothing happens. The Vindicator missed. The Marauder hits with a PPC into the right leg of the Warhammer. The Warhammer firing at the Awesome hits with a medium laser into the right arm. We win initiative this time around, which is great. Unfortunately, they have a lot more units, so they can just, you know, sink their initiative, which is kind of annoying. So we'll keep the Awesome where he is. I think we just hop the Vindicator on over. We can do 9 over. That's fine. Whoops. Here's to hoping. Okay, what's the to hit against you? A 9 again? I was hoping it'd be worse than that. Oh well, too late now. I'll be fine. Oh, man. The Hetzer hits the guillotine of the AC-20 into the left torso. It still has armor, which is good. The awesome hits with all 3 of its ERPPCs into the grasshopper. One goes into the left leg doing no damage, the other one into the left arm, and then the right leg doing no damage. The horror. Then the medium pulse also rolls the left leg. That is annoying. Oof. Grasshopper firing at the awesome goes into the left torso with the PPC, and then medium laser into the center torso. Guillotine firing at the grasshopper goes into the right arm with a large laser, misses with most of the medium lasers, but hits with 1 into the right leg. However, that's also behind cover. Then the SRM-6 hits with 2 of its dead fire missiles, 1 going to the left torso, 1 going to the center torso. The Plainsman medium hover tank misses with its SRMs. The Vindicator firing at the Gladiator misses with Grasshopper, misses with everything. The Warhammer at the Marauder missed the Marauder at the Grasshopper, hits the right torso with a PPC, and the left torso with a medium laser. The Guillotine took 20 damage, but stays standing. The Grasshopper also took 20 damage and stays standing. The Awesome and the Guillotine are both a little warm, but they are still standing. We win initiative. I think it's time for the Guillotine to come back to our side of the map. Keep the Awesome where he is. I know the right move, strategically speaking, is to shoot the Warhammer, but I don't want to. I don't want to shoot the Warhammer. That's not what will bring me joy. I'll be fine. Okay, so since you're warm, only 2 ERPPCs. We'll do a streak and then call it a day. I'm not happy about it, but it's what I'm going to do. And then, unfortunately, we are still awful warm. Did I miss something? Did we take an engine hit on it? No, we didn't take an engine hit. I don't know why we're still hot, but we're hot. We're very hot. That's okay. We'll get cool this turn, and then things will be fine. We will give more presents to the Grasshopper. And yet more presents. All right, the Awesome at the Grasshopper. Oh, good deal. Finally does something. 1 ERPPC into the left torso, another one into the left torso, destroying it and blowing off the left arm, transferring to the center torso, and then the streak hits going into the left torso, which transfers to the center torso. 1 would have gone into the leg, but it's behind cover. The Grasshopper at the Awesome does hit with a PPC into the center torso. Missed with everything else. The Guillotine into the Grasshopper hits with a large laser into the center torso. Missed with its medium laser. The Plainsman missed with everything. Vindicator into the Grasshopper hits the right torso. It's down to 0 armor after that PPC hit. The Warhammer firing at the Marauder hits with a medium laser into the right torso, and the Marauder missed with everything, naturally. The Grasshopper, falls, goes onto its left side, and breaches its left leg. And then the pilot takes 1 point of damage. Win initiative again, which is always great. Was it 50%? I guess I actually already won this, and I kind of forgot. Oops. Okay. we'll play out this round and then we'll call it good. So we'll go ahead and do that just so I don't forget about it. And then beyond that, let's go ahead and bring the Vindicator back a little bit more. That Hetzer makes things complicated. Not like super complicated, but complicated. Maybe we just go ahead and do that. That might be okay. I really wish that water was at, level 0, or this was at level 0, so I could kick the grasshopper, but I can't do that. So I can risk it right now. I can run forward. I know that Hetzer crew is not phenomenal. It's a 5-6 crew, so I should be okay, I think. Doing this for a turn, I think. I might be eating my words, though. So the grasshopper did manage to stand up, which is good for him. Might as well get warm for the last round here. Just give all of the presents to this nice, happy little grasshopper. Do I want the APC? Or the Hetzer? We can do the Hetzer, that's fine. Because if I can immobilize 2 Hetzers this round, I'd be okay with that. Once again, get warm. It's fine. Saw something good happen. That's not good. So Guillotine takes an AC-20 into the left arm, but it's still there. So it's attached. We're good. We're in a happy place. The Awesome firing an ERPPC at the Grasshopper goes into the center torso down to 4 armor. Then another one into the center torso, critting on the engine. And another one going to the left torso, which then goes straight into the center torso. It's down to 6 internal structure. The other Hetzer fires at the Awesome and misses, thankfully. Guillotine firing at the Grasshopper, medium laser into the center torso, critting on the gyro and the engine. It's down to 1 internal structure. Then finally, 5 damage into the right torso, 5 damage into the right torso, critting. APC puts 1 missile into the Awesome's left torso, doing 2 damage. The Vindicator at the Hetzer hits it with the PPC. Doesn't really do much. Then the Warhammer at the Guillotine hits it in the right leg with a PPC, and as well as 3 of its 6 dead fire missiles. Ouch. 3 damage to the right arm, 3 damage to the right arm, and 3 damage to the right torso. And then the Marauder into the Grasshopper missed with the PPC. The Grasshopper ends up falling and destroying its own center torso. So we don't get to salvage it, unfortunately, but alas, life goes on, but we did win. Now we won't worry about that. We'll go ahead and do that. Yes, quite the fall. But there was only one point of internal structure left. So was it quite a fall, or did he just cough? I'm going to say that he coughed, because that's about all that was left on that center torso. All right, and we won, so we control the field. Unfortunately, our guillotine did take a little bit of damage, but it was all armor. No significant crits. Good. So the Hetzer is going to be recoverable. The Warhammer is inoperable, but recoverable. And then the Grasshopper is unfortunately irreparable. That tracks. Whenever you're teaching somebody how to play the game, inevitably whoever you're teaching gets their head taken off for whatever reason. All right, and then they left their foot platoon, which was nice of them. The Grasshopper, we're going to go ahead and give to the Awesome because it inflicted the most damage. And then the Warhammer will go to the Guillotine. Oh, and the Hetzer gets to go to the Guillotine as well. Yes, if that does not describe what Battletech is, I don't know what does. All right, so let's drag the Warhammer, and we'll drag the Grasshopper and a Hetzer, and we'll drag a foot platoon because that's always hilarious. Oh, darn. Okay. Well, we can at least take the Hetzer and the foot platoon. Confirm. Okay. For what started out as an awful month, this has actually been going remarkably well. Let's go ahead and make sure that we get personnel assigned to those new things. Assign tech or person, peoples, text. So let's grab any random mechanic. Actually, for a Hetzer, let's grab somebody who kind of knows what they're doing. Assign to the Hetzer, and then for our MekTech, I'd really like this to, once again, not be a really bad MekTech. So we'll grab you. Assign as a tech. Did I? Oh, I already assigned it. I'm a dum-dum. Okay. So, where is... Oh, I didn't grab it. That's why. That's why I can't assign it. It's okay. I remember what I'm doing. So let's go ahead and jump through and see what we can mass repair and salvage. That was helpful. So we got the entirety of that Hetzer fixed. Now, I'm just making sure that this is a bug and not something I've been faking or doing incorrectly for years. But, so the Hetzer, undamaged, fully repaired. But it was made immobile. And so now when you repair it, it's still immobile. And I bet you if we go into GM mode, edit damage. Oh, no, never mind. Just kidding. Every now and then, when an engine takes like 3 or 4 hits, it doesn't get rid of it with a repair. Okay. And so, how many soldiers do we have sitting around? I'm hoping we have a bunch. Not that many. Need 28. So when we're done with this contract, we need to hire like 20 more soldiers. You can kill your pilots by accident in MegaMek, and it's permanent? What do you mean? I need to know more. All right, let's go ahead and advance 1 day. We'll advance. Hold on. See what we can fix here. Not much. do that. That's already getting worked on. Okay, cool. And go ahead and advance one more day. So I'm trying to decide if we do this one. Because I can get some spoils out of this, but does it matter in the end? I don't think it will. So I think what we do is we deploy, and we'll deploy the Scout Lance. Confirm, done, and we go forward a day. And that should be okay, I think. Maybe. Oh, good, and everybody came home. There we go. And we are almost done with this one. We just need the SRMs, which we'll get here one day. But fortunately, we actually have... How are we doing on mech warriors? So we have mechs that we can put all of our ultra greens and greens into and keep them training, which would be nice. We just need to get Tango Lance back out there so that they can, you know, continue training. But then we also run the risk of, as soon as we deploy Tango Lance or a training Lance, they pull a scenario. Okay, so if you set their hits high enough in the prep screen, they cannot be made alive again. They are marked dead and don't spawn in-game, even if you reduce their hits. Oh my gosh. That is funny. Well, I've never had a reason to purposefully mark my hits high enough in the prep screen for them to just not appear. I've never had a reason to do that. So, thank you, I think. Yes, new players be doing stuff is right. New players be doing shenanigans. All right, so when we look at this, didn't I have another Wolverine? Or was it getting... Hold on. Hold on. Or did it get salvaged? Oh, I know what. Okay, yes. They were working on this Wolverine and the other Wolverine. That's right. Okay. It's fine. I know what's happening, guys. I totally know where I am. Well, why don't we go ahead and assign a pilot to these. We'll wait one day. Maybe 2 days. How's everybody doing on fatigues? Everybody's doing okay there. Everybody's doing okay there. All right. Good deal. So I think at this point in time, we are in a good enough spot that we can continue exploring. So, Scout, go Power Ranger. Naturally. And Recon. Naturally. Okay, great. Normal stuffs. Whoops. Normal stuff be happening. So what do we have here? Uh-oh. So one of these is a turning point. So the irregular force assault, actually. So the first one's going to be a decoy interception. This is not a turning point. Your mission is to intercept and engage enemy forces to draw them away from the primary objective. Our intelligence indicates that they are moving to secure a critical target, but by forcing an engagement, you will divert their attention and disrupt their plans. Your task is to hold them in combat for a specific duration, or if the opportunity presents itself, destroy 75% of their forces to rout them completely. This battle is about control and endurance. The longer you keep the enemy occupied, the more our allies will have to complete their objectives elsewhere. Expect a determined enemy response, as they will be attempting to break through and reestablish their mission. You must balance aggression with resilience. Hold them long enough or cripple them severely they can no longer continue to fight. Should you succeed in routing 75% of their forces, we will seize control of the battlefield at the end of the engagement. This will allow us to recover any remaining assets and deny the enemy any chance of regrouping, whether by sheer endurance or decisive firepower. Your success here will determine the outcome of operations across the sector. All right. Now, I do have a question. Actually, we'll do it like this. You might have enough current skills. Gunnery? No. Piloting? Nope. You are a slow learner. Okay, that's fine. And then for you, you need what, 40 XP? 30, you need 30. Okay, cool. Good deal. And you probably need 50, don't you? Yeah. But you, however, you might just need 40. $43, naturally. Okay, great. Great. We'll walk away from that. And the Thunderbolt, the cockpit gets fixed, which is pretty neat. We're just waiting on that SRM, which we'll get here eventually. Allegedly. Let's also take a look. So we've got a damaged medium laser. Took one hit. Do that, and then there's a damaged heat sink. Wow, you guys suck a lot. There we go. Okay. Oh, well, they were just continuing to fix heat sinks. That's fine. Let's go ahead and move forward by a day. Oh, that's why I originally went to the warehouse to see when we were going to get our SRMs. 5 days. We're 5 days out from getting SRMs. even though our contract will be ending next month, I'm just trying to wait until next month, I think, to put Tango Lance out there. I don't know. I kind of have to get them in there. So it doesn't matter if you don't have an SRM. You go ahead and hop on into the Wolverine. And then for these guys, add said units. Here's the hoping. Naturally. Naturally, it drew another one. Naturally. Okay, great. Awesome. Cool. Training lances are really honestly the only ones that can pull random encounters like that. Fortunately, it's not a turning point, but we're not going to fight that one. That's just silliness. So that means we have to fight these two. So that is today. So, and we need to do 75% of all of that madness. Do I have enough vehicle crews lying around? Absolutely not. I do not have enough vehicle crews. Shoot. Okay. No problem. No problemo. When does that mech pilot come back out? That mech warrior who's hurt? Hold on. Wait. Are you guys fatigued? No. Okay. I know it probably seems like I'm just sitting here staring at the screen. It's because I am trying to figure out what I want to do. I think I have to deploy. I have nothing but bad pilots for support right now, and that sucks. So the one that matters is the one that pops tomorrow. That's the one that really matters. And that's the one that'll probably hurt the most. And I think I could deploy Bravo Lance with one of the Scout Lances as a support and maybe make this happen. I don't know. I don't know, honestly, but I kind of feel like I'm tied into that. And if I was going to deploy one of the Scout Lances, I'd probs pick. I think I'd pick Scout Lance. But all those pilots are terrible. Or do I let this one go? Because, okay. So, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. If I let that one go, I have to win both of these. I have to. In order to be able to get the enemy morale down, I have to win both of these. Or I have to make sure that I pull more. For the next go around. So those are all much better pilots than mine, honestly. So the engagement for the tomorrow. Hostile infantry and local insurgents are being reinforced by frontline enemy units, creating a growing threat in this sector. If left unchecked, their combined strength will destabilize our operations and undermine our control of the region. Your mission is to engage and destroy at least 50% of the combined enemy force, neutralizing their ability to continue resistance. Expect a mix of tactics. The insurgents will use terrain, ambushes, and guerrilla warfare, while frontline units will provide structured firepower and coordination. Do not underestimate either force. Eliminate them with precision, break their ability to fight, and ensure the sector is pacified. Your victory will control the victor will control the battlefield at the end of the engagement. Okay, I think we risk it for the biscuit, and we are going to just drop. Yeah, we'll drop Bravo Lance here, and we're not actually going to fight it. Actually, I think we can fight this. I think we can fight this. We're going to save it. Yeah, we're going to save it. And we're going to hope for the best. Could be terrible. And just making sure I don't have something just like hiding. No, I don't. It's fine. I'm not scared. You're scared. That's the other thing. I'm not going to be able to recover on both of these. Okay, no, I lied. We're not doing this one. Continue. We're going to be a fleet and being, call it a day, and we're going to deploy Alpha Lance here. Commit them. And then, honestly, I would like to deploy Star Stinger, yes. Locust, meh, but yes. I think we'll also throw the Scout Lance in there too. Go ahead and reinforce instantly. And we should have made that roll. Yes, we very much made that roll. All right, let's see what happens. Go ahead and drop our recovery lance with all of our people, and then let's get going. All right, tell you what, I am going to get up really quick. I've been on for not quite an hour and a half. I'm going to stand up, stretch my legs for just a second, grab some water, and then I'll be right back. So hang tight. Don't go away, and I'll be back in just a minute. Okay, let's go ahead and jump on back into it. And oh. And there we go. So, start game, commence drop. I thought I did this, but I think I clicked the wrong button, confirm, and okay. Let's go ahead and look in the map really quick. Okay. Well, nothing could possibly go wrong here. Oh, thank goodness. The ground reinforcements don't come in until around 12. Okay, cool. And I have to destroy... I don't have to worry about the ground reinforcements, but I need to destroy 50% of everything else, which makes things significantly easier. Because I really didn't feel like trying to deal with a behemoth or two behemoths. Okay. Yeah, no, this should be fine. This is doable. This is winnable. I'm a little afraid right now, but it's winnable. Oh, I like this map. We win initiative, which is pretty cool. What are you? Okay. So there's only the one bridge across. CF 100. Well, we can try. I think this would actually be one map where I'd really have liked to have been able to bring that Hetzer. Because you just bring the Hetzer in and you put it into the streets and it goes ham. Because every time you try to peek out and shoot it, it just shoots you in the face. Go ahead and put the Vindicator there. The Marauder will have cross around the same place as the Awesome. The Guillotine will have jump over there. And then the Thunderbolt also is unfortunately going to plop right there. Okay. So with our happy little Phoenix Hawk, you can start in... No. Phoenix Hawk can start down there. Everybody can pretty much just start in places where they can run away. That will be just fine. Sentry Crow. All right, bro. How'd you get that name? Okay, so the name of the game here is probably going to be Isolation. Isolation. So trying to isolate a single mech at a time and then, just shoot him in the face repeatedly over and over until he stops walking. Maybe that'll work. Maybe it won't. And it would be great, absolutely great, if I could get my lights up with... Oh, that wouldn't be bad. up in this region with these dudes and, you know, shoot them in the face a little, while all my heavies were down here dealing with things like Shadowhawks and Counterfacts. Do you believe? And so now is as good of time as any. If you haven't already and you've been enjoying the stream and you haven't done it before, I would really appreciate if you would hit that little follow button down there, or, you know, yeah, down about there. You know, it helps other people find the stream, and it, you know, it also helps to further our goals. If you are really, really enjoying the stream and you want to help, you know, buy me a beer, get me a coffee, whatever, you can subscribe as well. That also gets rid of all those pesky ads that pop up every now and then. And you know, that it again helps us out a little bit. If you're watching this later on YouTube, then I would really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button about like there-ish, and then like the video, and maybe hit that little bell if you haven't before. And if you're enjoying this later on, go ahead and leave a little comment. Let me know what you think. Nothing to do there. Vindicator. Do you have shots? Not really. Locust doesn't have anything. You don't have anything. You don't have anything. Nobody's really doing a whole lot except for the awesome, which is fine. That is a-okay fine. And it missed, which is okay. No, we don't need to do physical attacks. That's silliness. All right. Not a whole lot happening, but I think we're going to get everybody across the bridge and go from there. We have 11 rounds until their reinforcements arrive, and we win initiative. So regardless of anything else, we're going to be doing this. Oh, the horror. All right, let's get all those dudes in roughly the right place. Speaking of people getting isolated, that guillotine is not in the best position right now. I think it's time for us to bring some folks over to at least, you know, distract. At the very least, I'm not expecting for my lights to be able to do very much at all, but I'm hoping that they'll at least provide a nice little distraction, or be able to go back and isolate those infantry just a little bit more. That might be okay. And actually, getting the locusts come back, maybe we can go up and get that guard. So we can do, it's an 11 to hit against the Counterfact. It's What, a 12 to hit against the guard? A 10 against the guard. Of the things that are actually going to hurt me, I think the Cataphract is going to hurt me, and I'll take the risk on the 11s. Probably a bad idea, but I'm going to try it anyways. And we are nowhere close to being able to shoot anything with the large laser from the Phoenix Hawk. Not that he could hit it anyways. With the Vindicator, it's 13. Yeah, that's not happening. But can you see the Cataphract? You can. It's a 12. Okay, cool. Do it. People appear to be shooting at my Vindicator. Kind of not okay with this. Okay. Oh, dear. Okay, cool. So the awesome misses the Cataphract. The Vindicator misses the Cataphract. The Cataphract misses. The Thunderbolt misses. Whew. Okay, cool. And then we have all of these alleged physical attacks. Hold on. Did I just see that some... I want to go back and look. Yes. The security mechs are, in fact, sinking 0 heat. That's hilarious. Okay, hold on. I need to look at these guys because that makes me giggle. Where are you? I think the copper was one of them. How many heat sinks? You have 0 heat sinks. They're balloons. They just get hotter until they explode. That is so funny. Okay. I'm surprised they don't have anything on the engine, but okay. I'm going to roll with it. Yes, they're inflating with no release. They're going to go pop soon. And I'm here for it, actually. Okay, let's go back to things and stuff. So we're going to use some of these faster units to sink some of the initiative. Let's kind of see what's going on here. The Firestarter, you can run back. Kind of want the Stinger to run back too. I also wouldn't mind that Shadowhawk. That would be a nice little addition to things and stuff. Here, I'll just do that. All right, and that is exactly what I wanted to see. So now we can do this. All right, so that counterfact's probably shooting that longbow at us. And that's going to be 9s. So we can put a couple of PPCs into that problem. Phoenix Hawk probably can't do a whole lot. It's going to be like, yeah, 19 to 70 to hit. Good luck. Oofta. Okay. Well, you're not shooting anything this turn. And then otherwise, the guillotine, while we're over here already. Because everybody's just hopping around. So it's a 9 and 11s. Yeah. Let's do that and hope for the best, I guess. See if we can't hit the guard at least once. So an 11 or a 12. Also not great. But we'll do the 11, I guess. And just the PPC will be fine. And then the Thunderbolt. Gross. Okay. Bad pilots are not fun. Remember this, friends. Bad pilots are not fun. Okay, so the counterfact onto the awesome missed. The awesome onto the counterfact missed. The Shadowhawk onto the guillotine hits with an Ultra AC5 in the center torso. And then the Streak SRM hits the left arm and the right arm of the guillotine. Thunderbolt into the awesome hits with 15 LRMs. Doing 5 damage to the right arm, 5 damage to the left torso, 5 damage to the left arm. The Crusader hits the awesome with 5 of its 15 LRMs, doing 5 damage to the right torso and 5 damage to the left leg. The guillotine, wait, 5 times 3. No, 5 times 2. That's right. Okay. Guillotine onto the Shadowhawk hits with a medium laser into the left arm, but nothing else. The Locust hits with a medium laser into the rear right leg of the guard and missed with everything else. Marauder at the guard also missed. The awesome took over 20 damage, but stays standing. So we'll skip with that. Let's just go to the Locust because it's the only thing I care about. What is your... Yes, kick it. Everything else is skip. Cool. Rear right leg is destroyed on the guard. Automatically falls. Pilot takes a hit. And the engine does not immediately explode. But it does take a critical hit on its foot. Lost initiative. So we're going to use the Phoenix Hawk as bait, kind of, and hope for the best. These are all level 1. Yeah, they're all height 1 buildings. So at least they're going to give me a little bit of cover, which will be great-ish. It would be really great if we could deal with that Shadowhawk. I'd have to roll 2. I think we can risk that. The Thunderbolt. I think he just has to keep closing the distance and hoping for the best too. Fortunately, if he dies, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's a free mech. All right, let's see if the Firestarter can actually hit something. So machine guns are free. Always do the machine guns. And a couple of medium lasers. And that's a great place to sit. Man, 10 or a 9 or a 10 or an 8. What is the Evermore? Oh, you're one of the irregulars. You don't even have a weapon. You're just standing there. The Counterfact is way more scary. So much more scary. Also, this is the worst pilot in the world. Absolute worst pilot. I don't think I can hit anything. No. Well, nope. Sure, why not? 12 to hit. What's the worst that's going to happen? 12 to hit. What's the worst that'll happen? I'll put me 3 over. That's fine. So we'll see if we can't hit the copper with like something, anything. So the Firestarter hits the guard with a machine gun into the center torso, missed with everything else. The Counterfact puts a longbow 10x in the right leg of the guillotine, unfortunately. Missed with the PPC, or ERPPC. Awesome. Missed with both of its ERPPCs. The Shadowhawk into the Thunderbolt. Missed with everything. The Griffin into the guillotine. Missed. The Vindicator into the Shadowhawk. Hits with a medium pulse laser into the head. It's down to 3 armor. LRM missed against the Sentry, right? Yeah. Yes. Oh, no, Thunderbolt. The Thunderbolt at the guillotine hits with the LRM, doing 5 damage to the right torso and 4 damage to the left legs. Then the Stinger into the guard misses as well. Not a big surprise. The guard missed. Marauder into the Shadowhawk also missed. The Crusader, firing at our allied Thunderbolt, hits with a medium laser into the left torso. LRM-15 hits with 5 dead fire missiles, going into 5 damage to the right arm and 5 damage to the left torso. Our Guillotine firing at the Shadowhawk. Oh, that's not ideal. Hits with a medium laser into the right arm and a medium laser into the center torso. 2 of the 6 dead fires hit, doing 3 damage, total 6 damage to the left arm. And then the large laser hits, putting 8 damage into the center torso. The Thunderbolt, our Thunderbolt firing at the copper, missed with everything. The Shadowhawk took 20 damage, and it stays standing. So let's see what we can do. What is it for you? A 6? We'll go for it. All right, the Shadowhawk punches the guillotine in the right arm. Would have taken it to the head, but goes to the right arm, and then also takes a punch into the left arm. The Vindicator kicks the Shadowhawk in the right leg, doing 9 damage, and then the Firestarter kicks the security mech in the front right leg, destroying it, doing a bunch of bad things, critting on the right torso. It's down to 2 internal structure. The Guillotine kicks the Shadowhawk in the left leg, doing 14 damage. The Guard automatically falls, does 2 damage to the left torso. But the engine doesn't fail. The Shadowhawk makes 2 rolls and fails, doing 6 damage to the rear center torso, 1 damage to the right arm, and the pilot avoids damage. And we lose initiative. No. All right, so let's just chase down this Shadowhawk and see if we can't just get him completely out of the fight. And if we can, then we can turn and start dealing with some of these other things. So it's a 5 on the Crusader or a 7 on the Cataphract. I would really like to get the Cataphract, but that might not be the smarter move. No, I think it might be the smarter move, actually. So we'll do that, see if we can't get the copper out of the way, too. The Phoenix Hawk, point blank range. Can't hit. Cannot hit. Impossible to hit. Great. Cool. I love bad pilots. They make me happy. Okay, and then Buster is 11. Why not? Yeah, I'm not surprised that we can't hit anything there. But can we hit anything here? It's a big no. 12s. Okay, I can roll with a 12. I can get behind that. That's a 12. That's an 11, but let's not do that. So, yes, and that should be an 11, right? Yeah. Then the Thunderbolt. You're carrying tandem charge missiles. I want you to hit with all of those. Please, thank you. Okay, so the awesome firing at the counterfact hits with one of the ERPPCs into the right leg, then going into the copper hits with a medium laser into the right leg. Sorry, medium pulse laser into the right leg, and hits with a streak into the left torso and the center torso. The Vindicator hits the Shadowhawk with a medium pulse laser into the center torso. The Locust hits the Tunnel Miner with a single medium laser into the front, doing heavy motive damage, having the MP and adding 3 to all skill or driving checks. The Hover Platoon, the Thunderbolt, misses. Our Stinger, firing at the guard, hits the front left leg with a machine gun, then puts a machine gun into the center torso. The enemy Crusader, firing into our Awesome, hits a medium laser into our left arm. Would have hit the head, but we had some edge. The Catafact, firing at the Guillotine, hits with an ERPPC into the left leg, but it takes no damage, and instead goes into a building. Then a medium pulse laser into the left arm of the Guillotine. The Shadowhawk misses the Phoenix Hawk, thankfully. Our Marauder misses everything. Enemy Thunderbolt into the Guillotine. Hits the left leg with a medium laser. And then the LRM-15 puts 5 damage to the left leg, 1 damage into the right torso. Our Guillotine, firing into the Shadowhawk, hits with a medium laser into the right torso. Then a medium laser... Oh, so close. So close. Medium laser into the head. It's down to 1 internal structure. But it's still standing. Still standing. Copper fires a bunch of machine guns into the Awesome and misses with all of them. And then our Thunderbolt misses with everything. Okay. What is this roll? A 9? And then a punch is 11s. We'll see if you can kick. You're probably going to fall, but we'll see. Oh man, I kind of want to punch. Because if we can hit him in the head, that'd be neat. But if we kick him and he falls, that's also neat. Or if we kick him and he falls and he ejects, it's still neat. Can't do anything with you, but you can kick. Ooh, I like that. So, Phoenix Hawk misses, Vindicator misses, Shadowhawk misses, Guillotine kicks, and hits the left leg of the Shadowhawk. Griffin tries to punch the Phoenix Hawk and misses. The Stinger kicks the left torso of the guard, critting on the engine, and critting on the gyro. Phoenix Hawk stayed standing. Neat. Vindicator stays standing. Shadowhawk double hit on his gyros. So that's not good. Not good for him. I think that we're going to be seeing him eject in T minus 2 seconds. We ended up winning initiative at the end of all that. So with that, let's go ahead and move the fire starter a little bit further here. Man, what the heck am I supposed to do with all this? Yeah, we do this. We can always come back and deal with the guard in a minute. It's done for. It's not going anywhere. So we could try to take on the Thunderbolt, but that's going to take a minute. Again, I would like to get the Cataphract because I would like to have that mech more than anything else. So I want to see where it moves. The Marauder we can go ahead and bring up forward just a little bit more. All right, and that's what the Cataphract does. What are you? You have a backhoe. You have a backhoe. What are you going to do with your backhoe? Did you run? You did run. All right, who knows? Maybe a miracle will happen and you can shoot him in the back of the head. Let's see what this Vindicator can do then. If you jump. All right, so the guard ejected, which is pretty great. And right now, you know, Team 2 is not down any units. We kind of need to get them to withdraw something or die or do something. So the Phoenix Hawk can finally do something. Unfortunately, the Shadow Hawk's not actually out of the fight. Can still shoot things, which is unfortunate, but it's a fact of life for a moment. I was really hoping he would just eject, but we can't get that lucky. Tens or tens? I think we picked the tens. see what we can do. Because again, if we can take down the Cataphract, then we'll be in a much better place. So the Crusader firing at the Awesome. Medium laser into the left arm and a machine gun in the center torso. Machine gun center torso. SRM hits with 2 dead fire missiles, putting a total of 6 damage into the left arm. It's down to 5 armor. The Awesome at the Crusader puts an ERPPC into the center torso, doing a 3 armor crit with no effect. ERPPC into the right arm, a medium pulse laser into the center torso, a streak into the right torso and the center torso, and then a small pulse laser into the center torso, and a streak into the left torso and the right torso. The Cataphract hits the Phoenix Hawk with an ERPPC into the right arm. It's down to 0 armor. The Phoenix Hawk and the Griffin missed with... Oh, it hits with a medium laser into the rear left torso. That's neat. The enemy Shadowhawk misses. The Vindicator misses. Enemy Griffin on the Phoenix Hawk misses. The Thunderbolt on our Phoenix Hawk hits the center torso with a medium laser. Misses with everything else. I don't think we're at 20 damage yet on the Phoenix Hawk, so that's good. The Locust on the Tunnel Miner hits with a machine gun into the rear left side. Again, doing some motive damage, and then hits with a medium laser into the rear, destroying the engine. The Tunnel Miner shoots at the Locust and misses. The Stinger misses the Copper. The Copper hits the Awesome with a couple of machine guns into the left leg and left torso. The Marauder at the Griffin misses, and the Motorized Platoon misses. The Guillotine firing at the Cataphract. Medium laser into the right arm, medium laser into the center torso, medium laser into the left arm. And then lastly, our allied Thunderbolt misses with everything. So the Crusader took 20 damage and stays standing. I'm really hoping that Phoenix Hawk can actually kick them. So the next turn, hopefully we're able to kill the Tunnel Miner, and that would be a boon for us. And if we can do that, then I'm just going to send all my lights over the hill and start working on those infantry. So the Awesome kicks the Crusader for 16 damage into the right leg. The Phoenix Hawk hits the Griffin in the right leg, doing 9 damage. The Locust kicks the Tunnel Miner in the rear. The Crusader stays standing. The Griffin falls, doing 5 damage to the center torso, 1 damage to the left torso, and the pilot avoids taking damage. So the Awesome is at 1 heat, Phoenix Hawk at 3 heat, Guillotine is at 2 heat. Everybody else is doing pretty good. The Buster Hauler is at 10 heat because it can't sink any heat. And the Copper is at 11 heat because it also cannot sink any heat. God, that's so funny. It brings me so much joy. And then the Carbine is also at 9 heat. And we win initiative. So I'm thinking that we go ahead and just turn on in and cut the distance. Bring the fire starter over the hill. Can the Thunderbolt... Yes, the Thunderbolt can make it there. I am very tempted to do a little bit of this action. what to do with the Vindicator? That's the question. And I think we just bring the Vindicator up and we shoot the Shadowhawk in the face. Hopefully we don't destroy the center torso, but maybe we take off his head finally. Actually, wait. Huh. The Crusader is about to shoot at the Stinger, which is not ideal, but it could be okay, I guess. No, let's do this. Nope, don't go there. Go there. All right, everybody makes their skill checks. So the Crusader has some gifts coming for it. The Phoenix Hawk might actually be able to hit the Griffin, which is novel. We should very much be able to hit the Phoenix Hawk. Or the Shadow Hawk, I mean. Kind of actually want to put rounds into the Griffin, though. Yes, we do that. All right, so 7s on the machine guns and medium lasers, or 8s. 12s on the machine guns. We'll give it a whirl. Worst thing is that we miss. Ammo is cheap. Okay, let's see here. I don't know if I want to shoot at the Shadowhawk. I think that's a 7. That's a 9. Why don't we shoot towards you? See what happens there. And then for our happy little catafact, all of the things for him. Give me 1 second. I will be right back in about 2 seconds. Stand by. Okay, there we go. What was I about to do? Oh, yes, I was going to shoot the catafact. This pilot is terrible. Truly terrible. But what do I know? Okay, what happens? So the catafact firing at the Thunderbolt hits an ERPPC into the left torso, and then a medium pulse laser into the center torso. The Awesome going into the Crusader hits with all the things, putting an ERPPC into the left arm, ERPPC into the left torso, a medium pulse into the left torso, and then streak missiles into the center torso and the left leg, a small pulse into the left leg, and then more streaks into the center torso and the left leg. He'll be making a piloting check after this, which is great. The Shadowhawk fires at the Phoenix Hawk and misses. The Phoenix Hawk firing at the Griffin hits with a medium laser into the right arm. Missed with everything else, though, which is disappointing. The enemy Griffin firing at the Vindicator missed. The Vindicator firing at the Griffin also missed. That hurts me. The medium pulse laser does hit the right arm of the Shadowhawk that's, you know, lying on the ground, not doing anything. The enemy Thunderbolt firing at the Marauder would have hit the left leg, but hits a building instead. And then 6 of the 15 LRMs hit, doing 5 damage to the right arm and 1 damage to the right torso. Crusader firing at the Awesome hits with a medium laser into the center torso. Would have been a crit, but rerolls. Then the machine gun into the left arm. The Locust hits with a machine gun, doing 6 damage and then 18 damage to the motorized platoon, and then smacks them with a medium laser, also doing 2 more damage. So they just watched all their buddies die. They just went from 28 dudes to 2. The Stinger firing at the motorized platoon misses with everything. Copper firing at the Awesome hits with a machine gun in the left torso, and then, ooh, no effect crit, through armor crit, so that's nice. Firestarter at the mobile tunnel miner hits the front, misses with both the machine guns. Marauder Thunderbolt hits with the PPC into the right arm. The Guillotine at the Cataphract hits with a medium laser, hits with 2 of its 6 Deadfire SRMs, doing 3 damage to the right arm, 3 damage to the right leg. Let's see here. Then finally, our Thunderbolt firing at the Cataphract hits with a medium laser into the left leg. That's about it. Crusader took more than 20 damage, falls, does 5 damage to its right arm and 2 damage to its center torso, and the pilot avoids damage. We're going to kick it. And then I think we should be able to kick the Griffin. Let's see here. We can definitely kick the Shadowhawk. Do you think we can step on some folks? I hope so. Nothing to do there. The Firestarter, nothing to do there. I am actually very thankful that I brought along those light mechs right now, because I think this would have been a lot more difficult without them running around behind. All right. And with that, the Griffin tried to punch the Phoenix Hawk and missed. The Awesome kicks the Crusader in the left leg, critting on the SRM-6. Oh no, our Phoenix Hawk missed the Griffin. No. The Vindicator kicks the Shadowhawk into the right torso. The Copper managed to kick the Awesome in the left leg. The Locust steps on the last 2 dudes in the motorized platoon. The Guillotine kicks the Cataphract in the right leg. The Thunderbolt also kicks the Cataphract in the left leg. The Awesome got kicked, stays standing. The Phoenix Hawk missed a kick, stays standing, barely. The Cataphract ends up falling, taking some damage to the left leg, taking a crit with no effect, and then putting 2 damage into the center torso. And the pilot avoids damage. One initiative. Oh, wrong tube. Wrong tube. All right, let's look. I really wish this dude would just die. And we have to destroy, not just cripple, right? Oh, no, we only have to cripple. That is wonderful. Which means I can actually start ignoring that Shadowhawk. Because I think that we can all agree that this thing is crippled. If you no longer have a gyro, it is crippled. We can all agree on this? I hope so. So where are we sitting right now with everything? So Team 2 1 crippled, 2 destroyed. Oh, maybe you're not crippled. Are you not crippled? You don't count as crippled. That is fascinating. When you don't have a gyro, you're not crippled. So let's go ahead and bring the fire starter on over. We'll go ahead and risk it and just do that. So the locust, we can, again, we'll risk it and only move you 1. Okay, so we can go ahead and bring the stinger down like that, because then we can hopefully do a little bit of damage to those dudes. The Marauder, we'll go ahead and bring it up to the Shadowhawk. I don't like doing this, but I'm gonna. Where did the Crusader go? There the Crusader went. I kind of need to start protecting my left arm a little. This, yeah, when we jumped in, that was one of the first things I said is I like this map. And I love it because all of these buildings are height 1 buildings. And they're not stupidly strong. They're CF 15 buildings. So they'll take 1, maybe 2 hits and then they just collapse. But it presents some really interesting challenges. So I like it a lot. Lots and lots of partial cover, which is helping out a lot right now. Lots and lots of partial cover. Okay, what to do. I think I just hop you up here and then see what happens. See if that cataphract actually stands up. No, so this is... What is this? This is an irregular force assault. So I got really unlucky again. And when I deployed my training lance, again, it generated a mission. I think I'm going to ask the devs if they could look at this, because when you look at... Yeah. When you think about random missions being generated when you just go onto the map, your training lances are disproportionately going to draw missions for the hexes that they're dropped on. And if they say no, we're not going to change it, that's fine. It's fine. I will have said my piece, and then I will be a happy camper. Anyways, so yes, irregular force assault. There's a whole bunch of weird Op 4 that aren't sinking any heat, which is hilarious because they're just getting hotter and hotter and hotter. And we have to destroy 50% of them. Which we're getting there. And because I am horribly overstretched, I had to bring one of my scout lances along in hopes that they could do things. And so far it's actually working out in my favor. So many of the missions just pop up on my training lance. Yeah. There have been... I actually haven't been able to deploy my training lance so far during this contract because a mission has popped up on them every single time. And I think it's just because, I think I said this earlier, just because of how they do the deployments. So when you explore with a recon lance or a patrol lance, it rolls to see if you generate a mission somewhere within their scouting radius. And very, very rarely it might pop up on their hex. Super rare, but it could. Then when you have maneuver and frontline units, you only deploy them in response to a scenario, in which case they don't generate a scenario. Then the only other lances you're deploying to the map are training lances. So they're the only ones who can have something pop up where they are or where you deploy them. Okay, so more PPCs, more pulses, more streaks, more goodness. Yeah, the Phoenix Hawk's not going to be able to do a whole heck of a lot because you can't do anything to that because you're just a bad pilot. You'll get better one day. I don't know when, but you will. Okay, let's see if we can take out the motorized platoon. The Stinger, also, I want you to try to do things to a motorized platoon. Who are you shooting? Oh, that's right. So you, and throw a flamer into the mix. Couple of medium lasers and an AC-5. Okay, that would be an 8. We can go a little over on the heats. All right, because you jumped, so now you can't shoot anything. 1 over. Okay, so Thunderbolt switch over to Deadfire ammo. Motorized platoon shot at the Locust. Ugh. Hitting the Locust with his machine gun does 2 damage to the left torso, 2 damage to the left torso, 2 damage to the right torso, and 1 damage to the right torso. Okay, great, no big deal. And then the Awesome firing at the Crusader managed to miss on his first ERPPC. Hits with the second one, does 10 damage to the left leg. Medium pulse goes into the left torso. Streak goes into 2 damage to the left leg, 2 damage to the left leg, destroying the left leg, and then 1 damage into the left torso. Small pulse into the left arm, and then 2 more damage to the left torso, and 2 more damage to the left torso. The motorized platoon firing at the Guillotine misses. Mechanized track platoon firing at the Stinger causes a total of 9 damage, doing 2 damage to the center torso, 2 damage to the right torso, 2 damage to the center torso, and 1 damage to the left arm. The Vindicator firing at the Cataphract misses with both things. The mechanized hover platoon at the Marauder does 3 damage, doing 2 damage to the center torso and 1 damage to the center torso. Locust firing at the motorized platoon hits with a machine gun, doing 18 damage, killing 18 of them. Missed the second machine gun though, unfortunately, but does hit with both the medium lasers. Ends up going down to 6 men total alive. Crusader misses with everything. Stinger misses with everything. The Firestarter, gosh, I wish this thing would just die. The Tunnel Miner is just being a damage sink right now. The Marauder at the Shadowhawk hits the right arm and the right leg. Just shoot him in the head. Come on. He has 1 point of internal structure left. And then the PPC against the Cataphract misses. The Cataphract firing the Thunderbolt hits the center torso. And a medium pulse into the center torso as well for the Thunderbolt. Shadowhawk firing at the Phoenix Hawk hits the right torso and the center torso. The Guillotine firing at the Cataphract does 8 damage to the right torso with a large laser. Medium laser hits the left torso. Miss with everything else. Oh, yeah. I should probably do that. That would make a lot of sense, but we'll see. I don't know. I'll think about that one. Griffin puts a PPC into the Marauder's rear left torso. The Thunderbolt, enemy Thunderbolt, puts a medium laser into the left leg of the Marauder and a medium laser into the right leg of the Marauder. Then also puts 5 Deadfire missiles into the Marauder, LRM missiles, doing 5 damage to the left leg, 5 damage to the right torso. Then our Thunderbolt hits with a medium laser into the left torso of the Cataphract. The Marauder took 20 damage, stays standing. The Crusader lost a leg, automatically falls, does 5 damage to the left arm, and then another 2 damage to the left arm. The pilot takes a hit. I think it's time to kick your Crusader. Now, do you count as crippled? You count as crippled, so we don't have to worry about you anymore, actually. Where Vindicator doesn't matter. The Locust, can you step on some people? The Stinger, can you try to step on some people? Sure, we'll try. Can you kick? Yes. And then can you kick? Please kick in his head so that we can just be done with him, but still salvage it. Good. So, remind me, which of the test packets is it that deals with damage, like damage caps? Is that one? Is that package number 1 that caps the Amarak explosions? Yeah, I thought it was number 1 because I thought I had that on. So I'm going to take a look at that in a second. Anyways, the Crusader goes boom, and then the pilot dies. So, yeah. Oh, no, it does cap. Okay, so only 6 damage transferred to... Wait, hold on. Center torso. Blah, blah, blah. 20 damage to the center. Capped to 20. Okay, yep, we're good. Armor blown out. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so the Crusader is actually still salvageable, which is kind of neat. The Locust steps on the motorized platoon. They're down to 4 people. The Stinger misses. The Cataphract kicks the thing. It's still there. We're just going to abandon that thing, man. Then the Marauder kicks the center torso of the Shadowhawk, critting on the engine. The Cataphract, Thunderbolt gets kicked by the Cataphract and destroys the left leg of the Cataphract. So the Stinger missed a kick, stays standing. The Cataphract lost the leg, automatically falls, takes 5 damage to the right torso and 2 damage to the right arm, and the pilot avoids damage. All right. Mm-hmm. All right, so just to be clear here, 1 plus 5 is 6, plus 5 is 11, plus 4 is 15. So out of 15 units, we need 8 of them to be either crippled or destroyed, because these dudes don't count yet. So destroyed 3, crippled 3. We need to cripple or destroy 2 more, because the cataphract, I'm pretty sure, is now going to count as crippled. Oh, it doesn't. It's just heavy damage. The Shadowhawk finally counts as crippled. What else is crippled? I'm guessing you're crippled. You are crippled. All right. Cool. And now they're hiding in the building. Isn't that nice? Okay. So Locust, turn around and go this way. Oh, but don't do that. No, no, don't do that. Firestarter can come down to her. How do you feel about lighting buildings on fire? I'm kind of a fan. Okay, so the Shadowhawk finally ejected. Let's get the guillotine to scooch on over. What do you have to roll? A 3? Hopefully we can do that. Okay, good. All right, let's try to get some distance with the awesome. The Phoenix Hawk, we just need to run away for a minute so that we can re-engage. The Cataphract stood up. All right, bro. Good talk. Let's runaway stinger. And let's back up with the Marauder. Yeah, I really like the damage caps on ammo explosions. I don't know how everybody else feels about them, but I like those caps. Shadowhawk ejected. Everybody else succeeded on different checks. All right, let's put a couple of rounds towards their Thunderbolts. And while we're at it, we can put some pulse lasers towards them with some streaks. Phoenix Hawk, we can skip. We can continue trying to deal with the silly little Cataphract. If I didn't want that mech so badly. Oh. Well, I think they're going to be very sad that they went into that building. Let's shoot at Buster. I think Buster looked at me a little weird. We need to show Buster who's boss. All right, so awesome. Firing at the Thunderbolt missed. The medium pulse laser does hit the tracked platoon, doing a total of 12 damage, 16 men alive. Small pulse laser also smacks him pretty hard, but only... Oh, hello. Friends, this is why we test nightlies. So, and for those of you who are joining late, I am playing the most recent nightly. So, whoops. We'll just grab, double whoops. There we go. So just testing out some of the new things. I'm probably just going to keep on playing the nightlies because I enjoy being able to show all of you folks, anybody who's watching, any of those features that are coming out with the nightlies. There isn't always a lot, but sometimes there is. The Cataphract puts an LB-10X into the right arm of the Allied Thunderbolt and a medium pulse laser into the center torso of the Allied Thunderbolt. Vindicator puts an ERPPC into the left torso of the Cataphract, critting with no effect. And then we put a medium pulse laser into the head of the Cataphract, doing 1 damage to that pilot. The motorized platoon does 2 damage to the left arm, 2 damage to the right leg, and 1 damage to the right torso of the Awesome. The Firestarter smacks the building a whole bunch that platoon is in and ends up killing the platoon and destroying the building. So I don't think they're very happy they went into that building right now. Griffin firing at the Allied Thunderbolt misses. Mechanized platoon firing at the Awesome misses. Marauder firing at the Thunderbolt hits a PPC into the left torso. And then a medium laser into the left leg, an AC-5 into the left arm. The mechanized hover platoon firing at the Guillotine missed. The Guillotine firing at Buster puts the large laser into the left arm, just blowing off the limb. And then a medium laser into the left leg. It's down to 0 armor. Thunderbolt firing at the Marauder missed. The Allied Thunderbolt, oof. I am not the one who loaded tandem charge ammo. I will let you all know. This is the Allies mech that decided to bring tandem charge ammo to the game. And that's all they loaded was tandem charge. So 2 damage to the left arm, critting, no effect. 2 damage to the left torso, critting with no effect. 2 damage to the center torso, critting with no effect. 2 damage to the left arm, critting with no effect. And then 2 more damage to the left arm, critting with no effect. Then a medium laser to the left torso. Oh, good. And then a medium laser into the left torso, blowing that off, transferring to the center torso, critting on mask, destroying the engine. So that happened, and I'm cool with it. Then the Thunderbolt, because it took at least 20 points of damage, also fell, which is A-OK fine, falls onto his rear, doing 5 damage to his left arm and 2 damage to the head, causing 1 point of damage to the pilot. The Thunderbolt. Yeah. Yes. Although I think because I'm pretty sure tandem charge missiles have a -2 malice, right, on crit rolls, so it's impossible for them to roll. Yeah, it's impossible for them to roll like an engine crit, if I remember correctly, or something along those lines. I'd have to look at the table again. All right, so nothing for you to kick now. Nothing for you to kick. You can't do anything. Who am I looking at? That's who I'm looking at. Okay. And the Marauder gets punched in the right arm, which isn't very nice. This is just so funny. The copper is at 15 heat, and it can't sink any of it, so it's just getting hotter and hotter and hotter. Same thing with the construction mech. It's just sitting there, like, roasting. Okay, so we won initiative, which is great, but they just sunk it into this dude, so that's annoying. Is it playtest 3 that immobile units no longer count in your initiative order? Is that what it was? I'm trying to remember. It was like 2 weeks ago that I read all of them. Where's my Vindicator? There's my Vindicator. Oh, that's okay. I think it was playtest 3 or 4. No, it couldn't have been. Hold on. Which was the one that just got released? Was it 4 that just got released, right? Missions. So it might have been playtest 5 that it was either 3 or 5. It might have been 5 that immobile units no longer count towards initiative. So, there's no more of this like, oh, 3 of your dudes are immobile, so you're going to sink 3 of your initiatives into dudes that are immobile, essentially giving you a bonus on your initiative. I really want these dudes to move. That way I can figure out what they're doing. But either way, actually, why don't we also do a little turning action, and then we can go there. We'll just do that, and then, oh, okay then. All right, we'll go ahead and move the awesome and then go from there. Now, where was I at on... Because I forgot to look like a dum-dum. So, team 2, 6 destroyed, 1 crippled. I have to destroy or cripple 1 more unit, and then we're at the point of winning. 1 more unit. It'd be great if it was a mech that is crippled. That'd be pretty cool. Because then I can hopefully actually salvage one of those higher end mechs. We can get warm. Yeah, I think we can get warm. Phoenix Hawk can't hit anything. We can dream on a Griffin. Yeah. I mean, part of it depends too on who's giving you the missions, and if you're really well renowned with them, that can play a lot of it too, or play into it a lot as well as how well can you negotiate. It shouldn't be 100% salvage, but it should be decent. And if you look at cam ops, it gives you a really good idea as to what those roles should look like for the most part. But I mean, even in this game, yes, it does. I'm pretty sure. Well, it hold on. Let me look at something. Stand by. Wait. Whoop. Now you are. I just looked at this like yesterday. I just can't remember off the top of my head. Come on. It would help if I could spell contract. Contract. I think it is, yes. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure I can show this page and not like, get instantly sued. But so if you look at pirate hunting, you can ignore the op tempo because the op tempo, it doesn't really matter in regards to like MekHQ or anything like that. They use their own independent system. But your command modifier is a -1, your salvage modifier is a -2, support modifier +1, and transport modifier +1. So depending on a few different things, if your employer is a major power, then you have a -1 salvage modifier. And then if you're going as pirates, as a -3 modifier for your salvage. And then if your unit reputation is positive or in a good place, you can infer this kind of stuff. Oh, you are the pirate. Oh, never mind. JK, LOL. No, yes, you're going to have 100% salvage because you're a pirate, dude. 100% every time because you work for no man. You work for no man and you get all the things. All the things all the time. Well, it's going to be really easy until the the clans come and punch you in the face. And if you try to push into the inner sphere, like the real inner sphere as a pirate, I don't think that would go over quite as well for you. Because before you know it, you're landing on like a planet and then Comstar comes after you and you just get rolled. Not that anything like that would ever happen. Yeah, that would be interesting if it would do that. Yeah. Yeah, like if in between missions or whatever, uh, or in between like contracts, if you had downtime, if there was a chance that essentially you just got attacked and you became the contract and you just had to survive. So awesome, firing at the Griffin. Puts an ERPPC into the left arm, misses with the other two ERPPCs, though. Our Phoenix Hawk firing into the Griffin magically hits with a large laser into the left leg. Good job, buddy. Griffin firing a PPC into the Marauder hits the right leg. The Vindicator firing at the Griffin misses. Locust firing at Buster hits him a whole bunch. We'll just leave it there. Hits him a whole bunch. Stinger firing at the Copper hits the left leg with a medium laser, misses everything else. Firestarter firing at the mechanized track infantry hits, only does 4 damage, so 6 men alive, missed with everything else. The Marauder also missed against the Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt against the Marauder hits with a medium laser, hits with a machine gun in the center torso, machine gun into the right leg, and then puts 2 Deadfire SRMs into him, one in the right arm, one in the left torso. Missed with the LRM, though. The Guillotine firing into the Thunderbolt hits with a large laser into the right arm, missed with everything else. Mechanized Track Platoon puts a machine gun into the Firestarter, doing 2 damage to the left torso and 1 damage to the left leg. The Thunderbolt firing at the Carbine puts a medium laser into the right arm. Marauder took 20 damage and stays standing. That was not a great round for us. See if we can step on some infantry. No, don't punch the pilot. All right, so Vindicator kicks the Buster in the right leg. Locust kicks him in the right leg. The Buster kicks him in the left, Buster kicks the Thunderbolt in the left leg. Not very nice. Firestarter steps on some mechanized troops. 4 men alive. Marauder kicks the Thunderbolt. It's down to 14 armor in the right leg. Thunderbolt misses the Marauder. Then our Thunderbolt kicks the left leg of the hauler mech, destroying the leg. Buster falls, takes some more damage, and the pilot takes a hit. Thunderbolt takes a couple of hits but stays standing. That should be the last one for... We're going to do one more round just to make sure. But everybody should be crippled now that needs to be crippled. Yes, they are now to 3 crippled, 6 destroyed. We have exceeded what we had to do. And so we will go ahead and do /victory so I don't accidentally keep on going. And then with that, so the Buster ejected. Let's go ahead and I really just want to get the Griffin or the Thunderbolt or both. That would be neat. So the awesome, we'll keep on just walking down this way. No, don't turn on pavement, you dum-dum. We'll move the Stinger down that way. a backhoe. Okay, you know what? I'll risk going into range of a backhoe. It's probably a bad idea, but I'm going to risk it. We'll go ahead and move. Ooh, can the guillotine get down there? The guillotine can get down there. All right, I'll take that. So, yep, Buster Mech ejected, and then, with all that being said and done, why don't we put a couple of ERPPCs into the Thunderbolt? Maybe, possibly, if you can believe. Here's to hoping we can hit with at least one thing from the Phoenix Hawk. I don't have high hopes, but again, I can dream. We'll put in an assist on the Thunderbolt with an ERPPC and an LRM. The Locust, we can do a little twisty twist and put some love towards the thingamabobber there. I don't even know what it is. All right, let's see if we can't roast them. Couple of medium lasers and a PPC on a 9 I think is reasonable, along with an AC5 on an 8, especially since we already know this will be the last round. For the same reason, just fire everything. Cool. Let's see what happens. So the Awesome firing at the Thunderbolt missed. Phoenix Hawk firing at the Griffin missed. Griffin firing at the Marauder missed. Vindicator firing at the Thunderbolt hits with the ERPPC into the right leg. The Platoon firing at the Locust, the Firestarter missed. The Locust firing at the Carbine hits with a machine gun to the left leg and missed with everything else. Firestarter firing at the Mechanized Platoon kills the Platoon. There's nobody left. Thunderbolt firing at the Marauder hits with a medium laser into the right arm, doing 2 damage. And then a machine gun into the center torso, and a machine gun into the right torso. And then finally, SRMs with depth-fire ammo hits the left torso after re-rolling with edge. Our Marauder hits the Thunderbolt in the center torso with a medium laser, and AC5 into the center torso with it. Of the Thunderbolt. Guillotine firing into the Griffin hits center torso with a large laser, medium laser into the right arm, medium laser into the center torso, medium laser into the right torso, and a medium laser into the center torso. SRM-6 Deadfire hits with 3 missiles, doing damage to the right arm, right torso, and the left leg. Then the Thunderbolt firing at the Carbine does very bad things. Very, very bad things with its tandem charge. It smacks a gyro, smacks an engine, smacks a gyro again. Just bad things. Bad things have happened. And then we hit it in the head. Rocks fall and he dies, essentially. Then the Griffin falls, takes some damage to the right torso and the right arm. Thunderbolt stays standing, however. Okay, where am I at? Okay. Phoenix Hawk. Hopefully you can kick him. You can maybe step on them. Locust, don't bother kicking him. Stinger, don't do anything. Don't do anything. Marauder, kick. And kick. Last but not least, don't kick. All right, so the Phoenix Hawk hits the Griffin, kicks him in the left torso. The Vindicator steps on a couple of dudes. Enemy Thunderbolt kicks the Marauder, doing 13 damage to the left leg. It's down to internal structure, unfortunately. The Marauder kicks Thunderbolt, doing 15 damage to the right leg. It's down to 4 internal structure. The Guillotine kicks the Griffin, does 14 points of damage to the left torso. The Marauder was kicked, stays standing, and Thunderbolt was kicked, stays standing. That, as they say, is that. Carbine went boom. Very well. There we go. Okay. Sure. We'll save a GIF this time. And then yes, we will save this. And oops. Cool. So we ended up destroying 9 and crippling 2, which is well over what we needed to do, all before their reinforcements arrived, thankfully. Yes, I control the field of battle. So we come out of this overall only fairly lightly damaged. The Marauder took the most, and that's the only thing that I think got down to internal structure at all. Everybody else just had dinged up armor. All right. Oh, man. I really wish that Griffin... we would have gotten that Griffin, but it's okay. It's fine. I'll just cry softly to myself later. All right. So all of that should be good. Next. The Shadowhawk will end up going to... I'm not going to worry about any of that right now. We did all of that. We won. So the Cataphract. Wow, the mobile tunnel miner is actually very expensive. I was not expecting that. Not expecting that at all. But is it worth it to tow off as compared to everything else? Yeah, it is. Oh, no. Oh, dear. Oops. Well, that's unfortunate. So the Corks, I'm not going to be able to pull off because it weighs 200 tons. Yeah, we're not pulling that off. It's just not happening. So we'll grab this one and we'll grab this one. Oh, sweet. I can get the Cataphract. Crusader, I can't quite get, which is fine. I'm okay with that. The Shadowhawk, Oh. So close. So very close. Shoot. That's literally like the difference between me having taken that infantry unit before and not now. That is a bummer. But I can take the mechanized track platoon. That way I can get some more infantries. And we'll call it good. Yeah, at least I get the Cataphract. So we'll issue those awards. Luckily, nobody got hurt. So that's nice. And before I forget about it, we're going to go ahead and assign a tech. And then we're going to go ahead and call it for the night, I think. Because I do have to go to work in the morning. And it's a little late. It's just a little bit on the late side. We'll go ahead and grab one of our veteran mech techs, if any of those have any availability. So let's assign you Tech, Mech, Heavy, Catfract. Great. All right. Well, that being that, we are going to go ahead and call it there for today. I hope that everybody has enjoyed tonight and has enjoyed the stream. I'm sorry that I haven't gotten those tutorials out like I said I would yet. Life has just kind of gotten the better of me just a little. And I'm hoping I can get them out this weekend before I leave town for a couple of days. So with that, the next stream is going to be next Monday. Thank you so much, Power. I really appreciate it. So the next stream is going to be on Monday night, starting about 8 o'clock. I might do 2 stream nights in a row because I have to work nights on the next Wednesday. So I'll probably stream, I think, Monday, Tuesday of next week, and then we'll kind of go from there. I'll be out of town this weekend, so no streams, probably no videos, no nothing like that. But if there was anything you guys want to see in particular, let me know. If you're watching later on YouTube, just leave a comment down below. If there's anything you want to see done differently, let me know. Otherwise, I hope you all have continued to enjoy this. I've really had a great time doing this. But with that, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of the night, and you take care. Bye.